Hello, my name's Penny. I live in the southeast of England with my husband Pete and my 3 chickens, and you're more than welcome to join me for a chinwag, a chat, where I've shown you what I've been doing over the last, well, it's usually the last week, but this is my third week I've been missing. And the reason is, I think some might think because, my darling mum died last day of December, but it wasn't for that reason. It was because warmth. The flu came back, the cough came back, the feeling dreadful came back. And then one day, a fortnight ago, Pete and I both woke up. We said, well, we don't feel so bad. So should we just pop out? Hadn't been out for weeks and weeks. Yes, we just popped out. Oh, while we're out, should we just go and see Nicola, our daughter? And she was at home for the day. And as it happened, she was looking after Tommy, her granddaughter. This is what I'm like. Her grandson. And I hadn't seen Tommy for a while, what with everything that had gone on. And we had a super, super day. Well, we left at 11:45 at night. And it was super. We said, well, we're getting back to normal, health-wise. But no. I woke up the next day and, well, literally was in bed all day, couldn't get up. And then it went downhill from there. Didn't have a too bad a day, and then it's all back to last Monday. My friend phoned me in the morning. I said, oh, not too bad. And I said to Pete, I think I'm going to have to go and lie down. I went to bed. I woke up at 7:00. I mean, this is how it's been. So, what with everything I've had to do as well, solicitors, going to see the registrar, and, well, it's just been, not a very pleasant time. But on the other hand, there's lots of things that have been lovely and have been pleasant. The first one is all of your messages. I mean, I just don't know where to start. I think, well, was it 79 the last time I looked, or 80? Unbelievable. Thank you so much for the outpouring of love. You've all got to know my mum and the gentle lady that she was. I was thinking, going back to my childhood, I don't remember a day, I don't remember time where my mum ever told me off. Or even as I was growing up, those teenage years, my mum never said, oh, lovey, No, she never did. My mum always allowed me to be who I was myself and gave me full support. Well, there's not many people in life that can do that for you, is there? So I'm missing that. And all your messages were so wonderful. Thank you. One of the messages said to me, knit yourself another animal, if that's what you want to do. I thought, I can't knit myself another animal. No, I've got to finish Lois's jumper. Well, I'm stuck with that, the pattern. I mean, normally the pattern says, pick up so many stitches, knit round so many. Oh, no. It says, I can't make sense of it. For every 3 stitches, pick up 4 and knit 10 inches. I just can't do it at the minute. It does say, I was showing it to a friend, and she said, look, it's got pattern support there. So I'm going to give myself another few days because I want to finish it. It's done. It's all finished, sleeves, back, front. But picking up these stitches, and because they've been short rows up here, I've never done short rows. So it's one of those different patterns. I will do it, but not at the minute with my head full of cotton wool. Oh, well, as you know, I knitted Pete a sock. So I thought, I'll just sit and do that one, the second one. Well, the first one I did a 2x2 rib, and the second one I did a 1x1 rib. So that got put away. And I kept thinking of this message. Knit yourself another animal. I can do that in my sleep now, standing on my head. Well, you can see who I knitted. With my dear mum gone, I thought what we need in this family is some wisdom. My mum was a very wise person, a very gentle person, never forced her wisdom on you, but would always give it if you asked her, which I always was. What do you think, Mum? Should I do chin wag, Mum? Oh, yes. And aren't I glad I did? As my granddaughter Lois said, oh, I watched Nan back this week and it was so lovely. Yeah, we all have tears when we watch it back at the moment, but it's there, isn't it? Like you all said in your messages. So, Darling Owl has been started. Let's put that there. Yes, I'll show you him in a minute because something else has happened as well. Well, shall I show you him now? I won't hold up. Let's show you him now. Come on. In the book, it says he wants to be a lifeboat man. And that was one of my reasons, apart from wanting wisdom, because I've shown you a little film of the lifeboat in Ramsgate when actually they were rescuing people crossing the channel, you know, in their flimsy boats while we were standing there. Brrr, you know, it always call out. And, oh yes, I got it in the box. So I thought, well, my daughter Kim and Nick, my daughters, they both used to read this book called Plop the Owl. So I don't know whether to call him Plop. I think it's Louis in the book, but Plop might be. See how you feel. So this is my owl. Here he is. Yeah, he's gorgeous, isn't he? Absolutely gorgeous. I'll tell you some facts about the owl in a minute. And here he is up close. I had to buy a ball of wool just to do his bill, his beak. But I thought there's no other colour like it because it's got that little bit of, you know, scapies wool. Yeah, that's how I say it, I think, Dawn. Scapies. Scapies wool. It's like no other wool. It's got all these different colours in it. So here he is. I'd finished with the K-pop and I'm using High Loft toy stuffing and I'm thrilled to bits with it. In fact, I went back and because the K-pop settled a bit, I went back and restuffed my others, which took me, well, I had time. It took me about a day to sit there, unpick their heads and yeah, so there. I'll show you a picture at the end of them all, my new family. I've got 7 now. It's a bit of a joke. Pete says, honestly, they're taking over, but he loves them. So he's got long trousers on. He's going to have long trousers with a cable. He's going to have boots. And he's going to have a lifeboat. Let me put you there. He's going to have a jacket suitable for a lifeboat man. Let me show you. Here is his little lifeboat. I've got the sleeves on a piece of, just pick them up and knit round. I'll do that tonight. And then he's got a little hood. Isn't it cute? I joined that with Kitchener stitch. Well, she tells you to do it. And he's got little, what do you call them? Oh, I've forgotten the name. Anyway, they're cream and you put toggles. He's got cream toggles and you make from, you know, I can't think of words. Anyway, you make a little loop, knitted, for each of the toggles and the toggles are cream. I haven't tried it on him actually. Yeah, you want to see that cabling, don't you? Hope the light's all right. It's overcast today. Never get it quite right, do you? So he's got the cabling on his jumper. Then he'll have the little toggles down there. And that'll be that. Does his hood do up? Let's see. I didn't want it too big and floppy. Yeah, there we are. It fits when it's done up. So there's Plop the owl. They're gorgeous. Right, enough said. Oh, just to tell you what I'm wearing. I got it from the Rowan book. I used to buy these because my local wool shop sold them. Number 45. And I looked to see what year it was. It was 2009. I thought, giddy aunt, 2009, you know, these things last, don't they? My friend says to me, do you want to come shopping? No, thanks, no. Not keen on shopping, don't need anything. Why? Because my things last me so long. Let me see if I can show you the pattern. It's rather nice. Oh, I hope it's the right book I picked up. This is what I wanted in it. Imagine getting married. It's in Kid Silk Haze. Imagine getting married and wearing that. Not necessarily the dress. Oh, the light's not that good, is it? Oh, I wanted to knit it, but I thought I'll never wear it. It's exquisite. Anyway, I'll get sidetracked here. Sarah Hatton. It's a Sarah Hatton pattern. And you can see that, I think, because it's not white. 2009, so that's when I knitted it. What a joke. I like the button band because it just rolls like that and the edging's nice. And I saw it in the cupboard there and I thought, that was owl. I heard a thump. I thought it goes quite well with these leaves. So on it went. What's I saying? Oh dear. Can't remember. I'd have to watch it back to remember what I was saying. It was a second ago. I only press. Oh. My friend said to me, only do it if you feel up to it. I do feel up to it. Oh, I know. I did a whole episode on one thing leads to another, and I find that quite intriguing in life, how it can. And what happened was, when I went up to Scotland with my friend Heather, her sister, Sharon, had made this book. Pull this flappy up here and do this and that. I was mesmerised by it. And she puts photographs in it. I was really taken because behind here I've got boxes of photographs of stuff Mum and Dad have had put by for years, and I don't want them in boxes and I want to share them around the family now. So what to do? So I thought of this, you know, photo album, I don't know what you'd call it. Well, my ones are called memory books, and just as when my dad died, he gave me a book by Tilda. He said, you know, Amazon. He said, oh, I've got something for you, love. And he gave me this book and he said, I love this. And it was a bag. I started in earnest, that's me, making these bags for family and friends. And I've shown you the bags at different times. Well, different episodes, you know. I've just made one for Tegan last week. Do you remember? Anyway, this, after Mum, I've got all this stuff. I don't want it just shoved in boxes there. Okay, I'm going to make a memory book for everybody. I can't do that. I can't do that. I said I don't like making cards. I've never done paper stuff, never. I haven't got a tool. I haven't got anything. Because I was in bed and I wasn't well, I started watching on YouTube 2 people, and they make exactly what I want. Well, that's always a good thing, isn't it? So Miss Paint-A-Lot, Fiona, and I think her name is Camellia Crafts. Camellia Crafts, Julie. You don't see Julie, you just see her hands making things, but she chatters on like I do, and she's such good company, and she makes exactly what I want to make. Anyway, Miss Painterlot one day said, "Oh, I'm doing a Peter Rabbit." Well, you know me and Peter Rabbit, I made the quilt. Oh, I've got the other quilt up there for new baby. I'll show you that next week. I'll make a note. We're waiting for new baby. Yeah, baby was due 2 days ago. Georgina is out here. We had something that needed to be done desperately. The solicitor asked us to do it last week, and Georgina's husband Archie came down and did what we needed to do. He's a builder, and he came down on the Saturday. I was in my onesie. Pete was coughing his heart up, but anyway, Georgina came down with my daughter Kim, and it was lovely to see them. And we, but Kim said she's been sawing up wood, making wood piles, Mum, but the baby still hasn't come, so it'll come when he's ready. Where did all that come from? Oh, yes. So I made a Peter Rabbit quilt. Anyway, so I love Peter Rabbit. It just happened that it was the day I was watching. There was a Peter Rabbit kit put up. Came in a pink box. And I thought, get the kit, because then you'll see what's involved. And before you start buying things, you can see if you really like, well, I've loved it. Hook, line and sinker, I'm in. I didn't want to spend too much money buying stuff, and I'll show you what I'm doing anyway. Enough chat. So don't ask me why. It's how it comes in my head. But the first little book I've made for is Tommy. This is what I made. I'm thrilled to bits with it. I made lots of it up myself because Miss Painterlot doesn't put a ribbon round like that, but I wanted to. I had no ribbon, but it just so happened that I had this reel from Hobbycraft, £1 for a big reel, and it went. So I used that. And I made this up. I just thread up. Well, I got a punch because I realised I liked doing it. And I punched a hole, put the ribbon behind, stuck it down, and my ribbon's at the back. So here we are. It's called a Flippy Flappy. Can you see it? I put a little bow there. Not sure about the light. There's a little bow there. I made this. And we're going to write things on the back. Things we don't want to forget about Nanny Eva. Well, my daughter said something because Mila, she said, Mum, I'm saying to Mila, that's her granddaughter, do you want to tinkle when she needs the toilet? She said, Nanny Eva always said you want to tinkle. Do you want to tinkle? So that, you would have been asked, do you want to tinkle? All these little things my mum said and did. So put your paper on there, ink your edges. I put a little bit of ribbon down. And of course, photographs will be poked in there too. More writing, or we can put a photograph. Now I said to Lois, I need photographs. She said, I've got an app, Nan. You can have 45 photographs a month. Just free postage, you pay postage and packing. Well, so she's going to come round. We're going to choose what photos we want of Tommy with Mum, and then they'll be stuck in. Here's another Flippy Flappy. There's plenty of room to stick photos or write what I want to write about Mum. I've learnt that this is called a belly band. I think it is. Or belly band goes that way. Maybe they're both called belly bands. But I made this. and I inked round the edge with gold there. Can you see that? I got a little paper. You trim the corners. It does make a difference, trimming the corners. And Hobbycraft sell the ink. Now, I treated myself to a Tim Holtz because I thought they were going to be the best of the best. But this Hobbycraft ink, I love it. It goes on smooth. Can you see where I've inked that? So that'll have photos on, stuck on in the background, little journal-y bits. So that's my flippy flappy. Open it up. I've got a pocket. Made the pocket, put a little bit of ribbon along there, little bow, and again we can stick photos behind. We can, you know, whatever we want to do. We can journal, stick, but it's all going to be about Mum, so that Tommy's got something, yeah, as a memory book. What else have I done here? Oh, I've done a little pocket there. Can you see how I've edged that in the gold? And then done another little thing. But all you can, you know, all that, I'll show you it when we've done it. It'll all be done with photos. And here's another page. So that's quite a big one. But again, we can do photo. And can you see how I've inked round here? Makes all the difference, doesn't it? Of course, I bought myself a hole punch. Open it up. All the photos can just be slipped behind there. Now I put a piece of ribbon on that. I just stuck a piece of ribbon down and then stuck the piece of paper over the top. I like that. And then I made this little one. See if I can show you. Yes. Let's see. Oh dear, isn't it hard? That little one with a little journal card in. Mr. McGregor, I think. Again, I put some line paper on that so that we can write and we can stick well, you know, we can put all manner of number of photos in there. It's quite a pocket that'll hold quite a lot. And then there's a waterfall. And you can journal, you can stick photos on, whatever you want to do. And that's, another, I've showed you that pocket. And then we flippy flappy. I think I showed you that one, yes. You flippy flappy it, and then you can tie it up, and there we have it. So last night, now this is what I bought. I bought this, and I did all the bits of, you know, the sticking on the papers, but I bought the flippy flappy journal. And so she tells you how to do it on her, you know, on her YouTube. And so last night I thought, right, see if you can do it. So I did. So I inked round, I did the flippy flappy, exactly the same. It's just an A, I can't remember if it's A3 or A5, but it's double A4. Whatever double A4 is, that's what it is. And then I bought myself, I cut all the papers out. I cut all the papers out to stick in. And then that's going to be for Mila. So she'll have one too. And I mean, it's so, I'd never heard of any of this stuff. You just literally get this plastic board that has got ridges in, put your cardboard on there, go like that, and that makes the fold. Tells you how to make envelopes as well on here. So I bought myself not too much bits. You don't need too much bits. But then I thought, I'm going to make my next one for Anne. And so I'm doing Anne a memory book. And this is what I did. Now I filled it with stuff that's not necessarily for Anne. It's just to see what it looks like filled. And I'm going to take all these bits out and put in bits that, like photographs of mum and dad with Anne, and or her children with mum and dad. So that's what's going in this book. But this is what I've made. I thought it was mum, because mum had that outlook on life. So I made a pocket here. I've got put all the bits in. Oh, 2 pockets there, look. It's quite hard to show you. Yes, there's 2 pockets there. Pocket here with all the bits in on that page. You see it holds quite a lot. 2 pockets here. That was 1 pocket there, another pocket there. Started putting bits in. This is what they call a belly band, but it holds quite a lot behind it, you see. And then there's a page where I'm going to leave free for Anne to write memories that she wants to recall. And here's another pocket with bits in. Another pocket. So that's what I've made for Anne. What prompted me to even think about this was a book on Mum's shelf. And I said, I've got to have that because I've seen that all my life. It was a cookery book. And in the cookery book, as I opened it, it's in there actually, I haven't got it in here to show you, but here we've got the receipt. And she bought it 1st of the 11th, 1949. Well, you heard what Mum's life was like when she went back to these little 2 rooms with me as a baby. I was born in August, so this is November. I mean, she just had a sink put in because the council weren't allowed to let mums not have sinks, imagine. So she just had a sink put in. Here she was buying this recipe book. Dear Madam, in accordance with your request, we have much pleasure in sending to you for 7 days examination the modern encyclopedia of cooking. As we believe that you will wish to retain this work, we state below both the terms of our convenient deferred payment system and also the cash price. And so the cash price was £2.12, and or you could make 10 monthly payments of 5 shillings. So it was practically her rent for well, I don't know how she did it, but she did it because the books in on my bookshelf now. But I wanted to keep that. So this is where the memory. I started. How am I going to keep this? I could put it back in the book, but there's so much other stuff. That's where I came from. To think about doing this. I'll show you what I've got here. Just in this pocket here, I'll show you. So this is a picture of my nan and granddad with my dad and his brother. There's my dad. There's my dad, the baby, and his brother. So there's that. What else have I got? To my dear wife. Well, they got married in 1944. Dad obviously saw that and wanted to give that to Mum. What's the next bit? A telegram. 1940. I think that means my dad was 14 and he was obviously being sent away with, what did they do? Send the children away. Evacuation. Homesickness gone. Don't worry, Ron. A treasure from 1940. He was obviously missing home a great deal. Homesickness gone. Don't worry, Ron. So that was a treasure. Birthday greetings to my dear wife. Big splodge on the back. And what does he put inside? Dad's writing, leave something to be desired. To my darling wife, wishing you many happy returns of the day and hoping that we may spend the rest of them together. From your loving husband, Ron, 7th of the 6th, 1946. They had been married 2 years. And then he says here, there should be a verse here, but as I have none to hand, I want you to realise that what I'm writing at the bottom of the page, I mean with all my heart and soul, I love you. So that's just a few of the bits I put in there. I better stop, otherwise I'll be going on all day, won't I? Oh, a picture of my mum with her mum and dad. And that's gone in. But I've only just put a few bits in just to see. This will be made specifically for Anne. I'm going to make the books, and then, well, when people visit, they might have a little rummage and decide what they want put in their book, or I will choose all the bits that are relevant for them. Now, instead of buying the papers, which I did here, it's just a book of papers that you buy. They're not expensive, but I don't want to do that. Although Kim, my daughter, did say she has got some books, so I shall use that. But you see, there's books all on the bookcase round there, round Mum's. And my dad, whenever you went round there, he was always tying flies. In fact, I've got a hat of his with quite a few flies tied in. And I don't want it. I'd give it to the charity shop. But watching these people who make, these books, what they do is, instead of having, the pages like I've just cut out from sheets of paper, for Peter Rabbit, you use the bits that are very, pertinent to the person. So I shall tear that out and use that for one of my journal, one of my memory books, journals. And then the other thing is, my dad absolutely loved fuchsias, and he had a lot of books on fuchsias. And there was some that this lady wrote and published. I think she published them herself. And Dad's got quite a few. The writing's nice, and the drawings are nice. And so there again, I thought, yes, I'll use that. And what really started me off was Miss Paintalot and Julie both made journals from the country diary of an Edwardian lady, and that was quite a thing in my life in the 70s. I had the book and all of that. We loved it. And going through the bookcase, Mum had the book too, and you can make so much from that book. So really, I don't need to buy much at all. I'm going to make the books out of the memory books, out of papers that, meant something to them. Well, I think that's enough chatting, don't you? Just thank you for all your love, the outpouring of love. Well, I honestly, I just thank you. If Mum and I hadn't decided to do Chinwag, well, I would have missed out on all of that, and she would have missed out on a great year. And that's been a year that, I haven't just shared with Mum and looked after her, and she looked after me anyway, but we shared it, and doing Chinwag was a big part of her life. Oh, I think I'll play this, or we can say that, And at 96, 95, it was super, wasn't it? I'm just going to go and get Al. It's been lovely to talk to you. And, I haven't told you the owl facts. Okay, now see these ears? They're asymmetrically placed, but they're different sizes in real life, because they can hear with this one that much, but they can hear with this one that much. And so they receive sounds at different times, and they can pinpoint the exact location of the sound. So that's, yeah, can you see those ears? Asymmetrically placed. Ooh. Barn owls, I'm not quite sure what type of owl he is, but barn owls eat over 1,000 mice a year, and they swallow them whole. Is that what you eat? I'm not too sure. I've got a feeling he's a vegetarian. You can't be a vegetarian if you're an owl, no. No, we'll have a chat about that. Yes, we'll have a chat about that. There's over 220 species of them. 220 different types of owl. And you're just one. They can move their head 135 degrees, 135 degrees, 270 degrees. Not right round, but almost. Because they need to, because their eyes, I mean, my eyes swivel, theirs don't. Theirs don't. They're not balls, they don't have eyeballs, but they have tubes. They're rigid, and they're held in place by a bony structure. So they have to turn their head to see, because these are bony structures, can't be moved. They're held in place by a bony structure, but the actual eye is made of tubes, and they only look straight ahead. And they've got this blood pooling system, because that powers their brain and their eyes when they have this huge twist. You can imagine. I mean, I'd do that, I'd go giddy, but no, they've got this special blood pooling system. And that's enough of the facts for this week. But next week I've got some more. Well, as soon as Lois saw this, she said, "Oh, Nan, I want one for Tommy." I did knit him one like this, Tommy, so it's Tommy's due time now to have a jumper knitted for him. And just like myself, Lois is in love with cables, so I think it's going to be, this has got cables up the arm, and his legs, his trousers are going to have cables up the side. I'm going to let you go now. Honestly, you've got lives to lead, but it's been a joy speaking to you after 3 weeks of not seeing you, and hopefully I'll see you next week, and we'll see how things go. You know where I am if I don't see you. I'm here waiting to see you. I was going to do a little film of the chickens, but it's a bit overcast and damp, and I'm not going out, to be truthful. So I'm going to leave you with a little film of Georgina when she popped down last week to see us, doing us a little favour. And I'm going to leave you with a little film of Tommy when we popped round there. I mean, we were round the fire, it was dark, but he was just pottering about, you know, full of cold, well, full of teething cold, but he was fine. So that's a little film, and I'm going to leave you with a photo of my, I'm not going to call them toys. Are you a toy? Well, Nicola did say, "Oh, Mum, my kids would love this," because she's a childminder, you know. She loved the hippo, but well, they're like family now to us. There's a picture of the family round the fire, so that'll be at the end too. So I'll see you when I see you, hopefully next week. Bye-bye. Oh, Georgie, how do you sleep at night? I do. Hello. Hello, cheeky boy. Oh.
You can tell his mum makes him say cheese when she takes his photos.
Cheese.
Cheese. Oh, cheese. Is that what Mummy does when you take your photos? Oh, cheese.